You're listening to Interactive Wrestling Radio, featuring the Interactive Interview, courtesy of WrestlingEpicenter.com.
Mr. Lance Storm. Lance Storm, it's a pleasure to have you on the program. How are you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm at home in Calgary, so I'm always great.
Excellent. Well, let's get right into it. You're getting ready to open a wrestling school, Lance Storm. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about that endeavor?
Yeah, Storm Wrestling Academy will be up and running September 12th. It's been something that's been in the back of my mind, I think, probably since practically I broke in. The year after I graduated camp, I actually helped train here in Calgary for the Hearts for 2 years. And I kind of got a taste for it then and found out that I enjoyed teaching and was somewhat good at it. So it's sort of always in the back of my mind that maybe when I was done wrestling and getting off the road, this would be something I could do. And then I guess it was about a year and a half ago when the chance came to instruct for World Wrestling Entertainment in OVW as their lead instructor for developmental talent. I thought, hey, this is my chance to give it a go again. So I jumped on that. And after a year and a half in OVW as an instructor, I found that it was something I really enjoyed, and I felt I was making a difference. And so I started talking with my wife about the possibility of getting completely off the road, and she convinced me that maybe doing this on my own would be far better than traveling back and forth from Louisville or Atlanta. And we decided to take the jump, and I'm now home permanently and thrilled to death about it. And I'm just in the process of cleaning up and decorating my building and getting ready, and I'm really excited for the September start.
Well, we've got an interesting question coming in from our forums on WrestlingEpicenter.com, just for anybody out there who wants to check that out. Question coming in is, how the hell do you get the super kick to look so damn good?
Just lots of practice, I guess.
I mean, I got a couple of comments from that, and I thought it was kind of funny that people pulled that out, especially with Shawn Michaels now doing the sweet chin music pretty much to everybody.
Yeah, actually, I got a huge compliment just recently on someone who had taken both, and they thought mine looked equally as good, and mine was a hell of a lot lighter. So I take pride in making it look a hell of a lot stiffer than it really is. And it's just timing and keeping your eye on the ball.
Somebody once tell you that you couldn't crack an egg with it?
Jerry Lynn did, yeah. We, especially because we used to do it out of a similar spot each time, and it got to the point where he would, feed his chin around like a blind man. And I've even got a photo up my website where he's literally like just spinning around and throwing his chin out there.
A lot of wrestlers seem to not necessarily embrace the internet community. You yourself has kind of gone another route with opening your own website, answering a lot of fans' questions. What was your thinking behind doing that, being more open with the internet community?
I think it's important to embrace all of your fans. I think wrestling needs all the support it can get, and I think a way to earn respect from fans is to treat them with some degree of respect. And granted, there's the internet fans out there that think they know absolutely everything, and they think they know more than the people in the business, and criticize it horribly and just are down on it. And you just have to take them with a grain of salt and say, that's their opinion, and let them bitch and complain if they want to. But there's a lot of great wrestling fans out there that are online or not online, and I think we need to try to support them as much as we can and treat them with a little bit of respect, because without them, the buildings get pretty empty.
One of the first times I had the opportunity to really see yourself in depth as far as wrestling was, of course, in ECW. One of the first feuds I recall was with the late Chris Candido. What are your memories of working with Chris?
It was great working with Chris, because Chris and I were good friends, as well as we both liked to work with each other. And it was one of those things where, when we were doing the whole angle with Tammy and stuff, it's like the gloves were off, and there was never a worry that we'd be offending each other, and we could just do whatever we wanted. And it was so fun that we would each push each other, and there was never, I think, any doubt in either one of our minds that it was both of our goals were the match, and it wasn't, whether he got enough or I got enough, or who looked stronger or who won. It was always just about going out and having the most fun we could and having the best match we could. So it was really great, and it was also great for me because it was really my first speaking role where I gave him a chance to really come into my own as a personality, and having someone that was completely comfortable with to just do whatever I wanted, do whatever felt right and came out. That he really helped me, along with Paul's instructions, obviously too, in finding myself as a performer, not just as a wrestler. And so it was a really important time to me.
Well, this is always something that interests me personally about the business. When I look at some of the great technical wrestlers, yourself, the Chris Benoit, the Eddie Guerreros, why does it feel like it takes longer for them to get over versus someone like The Rock, not discounting his in-ring abilities? But, for Chris Benoit, it took years and years of doing, amazing technical wrestling before people really learned to respect him and really allow him, to end up being, obviously, the world heavyweight champion at the time. Why does it take so much longer? And is there something that can be done differently to kind of, do you think, showcase those technical abilities and help the real solid technical wrestlers get over sooner?
I think pushing them would do it. I think people really, and by people I mean the creative process of booking people and stuff, don't realize that in today's day and age, if you're not winning, you're not going to get over.
Right.
And it's one of those things where, and granted, Rock took a while to get over too.
Right.
It's not like when he first started the Rocky Die chance, he was getting over like $1 million.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? But he was pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed.
Well, I mean, Rocky Maivia wasn't over, but The Rock did get over.
No, The Rock certainly got over. But
Yeah.
it wasn't his first day that he got over. And I think you take someone like Eddie and Benoit. It's like how many times were they used to get other people over? How many times were they the one laying on their back, and how many times were they the one carrying lesser talented people, making them look good, and then having them win? And even the fans that know the business is a work, you don't want to sit there in the crowd and cheer for somebody when you know they're going to get beat.
One of the biggest criticisms that anybody ever gives you is that you're not the greatest on the mic. And I'm going to go ahead and fast forward a little bit and just say we interviewed Hacksaw Jim Duggan about 6 months ago, and Hacksaw made a comment that you weren't able to step it up on the mic to match him. And I think that he didn't understand that, while he's intense and stomping around, you're, can I be serious for a minute? Do you think that people just don't understand your style? I mean, because I remember Austin came out as well and called you boring, and I thought that was kind of, stupid and ended up hurting your career.
Well, that wasn't Austin's idea. That was what was booked. But I think one of the biggest things is, with the exception of the ECW stuff with Tammy, which I thought were good promos, some of the stuff I did with Tommy, which were good promos. I'm not talking about, I'm going to electrify the crowd like Rock, but good, solid promos. Or some of the Team Canada stuff that I did. I never had an angle or anything important to talk about. And so when was I going to be cutting a really great promo? And I would, not to open up a can of worms here, but what the hell, does anybody remember Jim Duggan cutting a good promo?
I mean, the whole thing got over, but that's pretty much the beginning and the end of it.
Exactly. The whole and the stomping around, but that's not exactly carrying the stick.
Right.
And, I could have, if I wanted to, stormed around behind Stephanie McMahon during the invasion angle, inciting the crowd to sing, "Oh Canada" or "You Suck" or whatever else, chant USA during her promos, and it would have been distracting. Not to say Steph not cutting the good promo, it's just I'm distracting from what the whole, angle is.
Right.
I was rather annoyed when I heard Jim's comments, to be perfectly honest. Not like he was cutting a promo and I was cutting a promo and his promos were getting over. He was stomping around in the back doing his Hacksaw Jim Duggan character, which he wasn't even supposed to be at that point in time because he had shaved his beard, cut his hair, and was now supposed to be the straight, narrow, not overly amplified American anymore. He was supposed to be the straight, narrow, I don't rant and rave, I don't stomp around and make noise because I am now part of Team Canada. But unfortunately, Jim didn't understand his character that he was supposed to have changed. He was doing his old gimmick, trying to get himself over to keep his job, and was distracting from my angle, and the office pulled it.
What do you feel about the current kind of shoot promos that the WWE is trying to, foster at this point in time? Do you think those are beneficial or will prove to be detrimental in the long run?
It depends specifically on what they are. I don't mind, shoot promo-esque stuff. I think like Candido and I did in ECW, or even some of the stuff that Dreamer and I sort of half did on each other. I think it rang true and people knew it rang true, but I think when you actually break kayfabe and talk about, what are you going to do? Are you going to have to go backstage and politic for the finish? Or, Kane and Lita was just a storyline, this is real. I think when you do that, I think you hurt the product, because why am I supposed to care about all the other matches when someone is actually telling me, well, this one here is actually real, this means something, the rest is all just made up crap. I don't think we want to go to that, and I don't think we want to go to, you're going to have to go and, do some backstage politicking so you get the finish because I'm not down for it. I disagree with